there is a deeply strange feeling. It is not that you have just suffered a painful defeat, nor is it that you are drowning in debt or completely stuck at a dead end. It is one morning when you wake up, brew a cup of coffee, look around, and suddenly feel exhausted. An invisible exhaustion. Most self-improvement channels out there will tell you, wake up at 5 a.m., read more books, hit the gym harder, meditate for 30 minutes, stack these 5 new habits into your life. But be honest with yourself. Do you truly lack new habits, or are you carrying far too many things that were never yours to hold in the first place? The aim of Stoicism was never to turn you into a storage unit. Stoicism does not teach you to hoard more skills, just to haul the weight of existence. This philosophy teaches you subtraction, the art of clearing out. Your life is not stagnant because you haven't pushed hard enough. It is stagnant because the backpack on your shoulders is crammed with garbage you refuse to let go of. Today, on the Stoic path, we are not going to talk about how to add more. We are going to talk about 7 things you need to quietly remove from your life. No announcements, no drama, no performative posts on social media, simply and gently putting them down. 1. The need to explain and justify yourself. Think back to the last time you made a major decision, quitting a job, turning down a night out, walking away from a relationship, or simply choosing to stay home alone on a weekend. What was your first instinct? Was it drafting a long, winding text message listing 5 different reasons just to beg for their understanding? Why are we so addicted to justifying ourselves? At its psychological core, this behavior is plain approval-seeking. You are terrified that others might view you as selfish, ungrateful, or strange. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "Everything others think of you lies completely outside your control. Trying to manage the minds of others is a game you can never win." When you exhaust yourself trying to explain your choices to someone who doesn't share your perspective, you commit 2 futile acts. First, you diminish the value of your own decision. Second, you hand them the authority to judge your life. True maturity begins the moment you learn to say 4 simple words. I've made my decision, and then stop talking. No speeches, no debates. Let your work and your peace speak for you. 2. The highlight reel syndrome. 100 years ago, an average person only knew what was happening in the lives of a few dozen people around them. Today, within 5 seconds of opening your eyes and swiping a screen, you witness the engineered success of thousands of strangers. Someone just bought a house, someone got a new car, a former colleague was promoted, someone your age just achieved financial freedom. And unconsciously, your mind runs a toxic comparison. But reflect on this from a place of reality. You are comparing your raw, messy, exhausting behind-the-scenes reality with someone else's polished, heavily edited highlight reel. That is not reality. That is a media product. Seneca once warned, "A man will never be satisfied if he constantly stares at his neighbor's plate." The comparison game is a trap with no finish line. If your goal is always to outpace someone else, you will remain a lifelong slave to standards set by others. Withdraw from that race. Not with bitterness or disdain, but with a quiet indifference. Focus on a single question. Are you more resilient today than the version of yourself yesterday? 3. Blind loyalty to expired relationships. Here is something very few self-help channels have the guts to say directly. Not everyone who walked with you in the past earns the right to step into your future. We often cling to toxic friends and energy-draining conversations for one single reason. After all, we've known each other for 10 years. Yet, history does not equal obligation. Some people aren't inherently evil. Your core values and life trajectories simply no longer align. Every time you meet them, you walk away with nothing but complaints, quiet resentment, or petty drama. By the time the conversation ends, you feel entirely drained of life force. Stoicism doesn't urge you to confront them, stir up a scene, or cut ties with loud fanfare. That is child's play. A mature person chooses a quiet change of access. You stop replying instantly to trivial texts. You turn down non-essential hangouts. You silently pull back your personal boundaries. Protect your energy the exact same way you protect your bank account. Stop granting an unlimited line of credit to people who only withdraw and never deposit. 4. The worst-case scenario in your head: overthinking and mental torture. Let's be real with each other. How many times have you tossed and turned at 2 a.m., endlessly dissecting a single offhand comment someone made last week? Or painting a horrific catastrophe of your future bankruptcy, joblessness, abandonment, until your heart races and cold sweat breaks out? Psychologists call this catastrophizing. The human brain evolved to detect danger, but in the modern world, it repurposes that survival mechanism to fabricate imaginary enemies. Epictetus, a philosopher who spent his early life as a slave, left us a timeless truth. We suffer not from the events that happen, but from our judgment about those events. When a storm of thoughts threatens to sweep you away in the dead of night, sever it with one single Stoic question: is this within my direct control right now? If yes, get up and take the smallest possible action to address it. If no, worrying for another 3 hours will not alter reality by tomorrow morning. Let it go. Stop turning your mind into a courtroom where you play both the helpless defendant and the ruthless judge, sentencing yourself every single night. 5. The "that's just who I am" label. One of the heaviest burdens people voluntarily carry is a stale, outdated identity. I'm just a short-tempered person. I'm just not cut out for business. I've always been lazy. I just lack discipline. Be exceptionally careful with how you define yourself after the words "I am." When you repeat a narrative long enough, your brain subconsciously aligns your behavior to prove that narrative right. You are bricking up a cage around yourself and stepping inside. What is the reality? Past mistakes, failures in your 20s, or past timidity were simply behaviors at a specific point in time. They are not your permanent essence. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to become quieter, sharper, more disciplined, and uncompromising with your standards. Stop letting the weakest, past version of yourself take the wheel and drive your life today. 6. Addiction to instant gratification. Look around you. Everything in modern society is engineered to erode your tolerance for friction. A single swipe on TikTok hands you an instant hit of dopamine. One tap on an app delivers hot food to your doorstep in 15 minutes. A quick online purchase fills an empty emotional void. The consequence? Our brains have become pathetically fragile when forced to wait. The second we hit a demanding task, a dense book, or a multi-year project, we instantly abandon ship because we feel bored. Stoicism diagnoses this as a profound absence of self-discipline. Every single thing of true value in this life, a formidable physique, enduring wealth, deep intellect, or a soul-level relationship, stands locked behind the wall of delayed gratification. Train yourself to embrace discomfort every single day. Force yourself to sit at your desk for 15 more minutes. The moment boredom creeps in, power down your phone and sit with the silence for an hour. Walk in a cold rain without complaining. When you master the ability to endure discomfort, nothing and no one on this earth can easily manipulate you again. 7. Trying to control what was never yours to hold. This is the foundational lesson, the bedrock of all Stoic philosophy, the dichotomy of control. Look back at every single moment of rage, disappointment, or despair in your life. What was the root cause? Wasn't it simply you trying to force something to bend to your will when it was entirely out of your hands? You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control whether someone chooses to be honest with you. You cannot control the past. The only thing you truly own from the moment you take your first breath to the moment you close your eyes for the last time is your response, your attitude, and your choices in this exact moment. Think of a rower on a river. You cannot command the current to stop flowing, nor can you dictate which way the wind blows. But you hold total mastery over how you steer your oars. Stop burning your vital life force, arguing with reality. Accept reality as it is, and direct every ounce of your energy toward mastering your part. Real transformation in a human life rarely happens overnight through grand, sweeping declarations. It takes place across hundreds of quiet decisions that nobody ever sees. It is when you power down your phone and go to sleep on time. It is when you choose silence over plunging into a pointlessly toxic argument online. It is when you smile, wish well upon someone whose path has diverged from yours, and quietly walk forward. You do not become stronger because life suddenly grows easier. You become stronger because you have finally learned to let go of what was never yours to carry. Tonight, ask yourself one single question. What is draining my energy the most? And is it finally time I quietly let it go? Thank you for walking with the Stoic path today. If this video gave you a much-needed moment of clarity, hit subscribe and share your perspective in the comments below. Live today with stillness and resolve. I'll see you in the next episode.